Serena, when Elina was just in here, she was asked about what you've been able to do in your career, and she spoke very reverently about you. She also mentioned that she didn't even think you played your best today, but then you look at the score and it was a dominant performance. So assess how you felt that you played tonight and what this victory means to you to get to another Grand Slam final.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, to be in yet another final, it seems honestly crazy, but I don't really expect too much less. I think today was solid. It definitely wasn't my best tennis, and it's interesting that she knows that. She's a super professional to know that, she probably could have played better as well, and I definitely know I could have played better. So, but, I'm just focusing on not that and just, the next match.
It was your 101st win here. You tied Christie. How much do those sort of marks mean to you?
It's pretty cool. I didn't know that was even an option. So, that always makes it even more special when you hear those super cool things without even knowing.
Thank you.
You said after losing at Wimbledon that you felt you needed kind of maybe to play some more finals outside of the Grand Slams. Obviously, you did get to a final, but that didn't end exactly how you would have liked it to. I was just wondering whether you feel you've had enough final match practice for this one and how you're going to, not lose this one compared to the last few.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to play more tournaments, and I was going to play Cincinnati, and I had a great summer planned. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for me. But at least I got to play some matches, and obviously there's a lot of things that I've learned in the past, but I just have to go out there. Most of all, I think above all, just stay relaxed.
Are there different emotions in a final compared to these other matches, though? Is that the sort of thing you felt you were missing?
Yeah, I feel like there's so many different emotions in finals, and it just brings out so many highs and lows and nerves and expectations, and it's a lot.
Serena, has anything felt different about this tournament than the last couple of Grand Slams you've played in?
I felt more prepared this tournament. I mean, Wimbledon, I probably had a week to prepare, so that was amazing. Australia, I was super prepared, and I, did great and rolled my ankle, and I shouldn't have even played the French Open, so that was just a bonus, just to compete in another Grand Slam. So I just feel like I actually had time to train. I trained more I joked that I trained more for Canada than I did for any other tournament this year, which was kind of funny. But I just had a really tough year with injuries and mostly bad luck, and I just needed to get injury-free.
Serena, many people already consider you the greatest, probably most people do anyway, but how important is it for you to match Margaret's record, and would you still be playing if you already had surpassed it?
I would definitely still be playing if I had already passed it, but I've had so many chances to pass it and to have a lot more. But it's cool because I'm playing in an era with 5 eras with so many amazing players. So, I think if you look at the span of the career and the players that I've played, it's amazing that I was able to get this many.
Far right then. Serena, what have you learned from those last 3 Grand Slam finals you lost that you think will help you on Saturday?
I don't know. I haven't really thought much about it, to be honest. I just need to work harder and just do better. And like I said, Simona played unbelievable. There was nothing I could do that day, but also I didn't have too much time to prep, and playing someone that played that unbelievable was just a deadly combination for me. So, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much.
Serena, your movement tonight was just amazing. You actually won more of the long rallies against someone who probably came in thinking, I need to get her into long rallies. I think I saw Mackie Shilstone in your box tonight. Have you been working fitness stuff with him?
Yeah, I always work with Mackie. He doesn't always come to all the events, but we always work together. And I put in a lot of time in the gym after Wimbledon. Like I said, I was getting ready for Canada, so. So, yeah, I put a ton of time in and, just worked a lot on my fitness and just try to, it always feels good to train without pain.
Your two possible opponents are out on the court now, so we don't know which one will play you. Taking Belinda first, how would you describe her style of play, and what do you remember most about your matches against her?
Well, she takes the ball really early, and she's had a great year. She has gotten incredibly fit, and she's always been serious, and she's continuing to be very serious.
And then against Bianca, you had that aborted match not too long ago. What did you learn about her that day?
She really knows how to mix up the game and play different shots in different ways, and above all, I just like her as a person. She's amazing.
Serena, you mentioned the incredible fact that you've played across 5 eras, which is extraordinary. Could you just say that maybe the 2 or 3 toughest players that you faced and the one way the game has changed?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I have to say Venus. Obviously, I've lost to her the most, and she's won the most Grand Slams out of most in that era. I don't know. I mean, probably Henin and Kleisters were great. They were really great. But then there's Lindsay, who was also an amazing player, very tough to play against. And then, Hingis was also an incredibly tough opponent to play. So the list goes on and on. There's so many amazing players throughout, so many years. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And the way the game's changed?
Oh, yeah. The game has just changed. I think it's so much more depth. I think when I first started, you could win a lot of easy matches, and then, then you're in the quarterfinals, and then that's when it starts to get a little more tough. And now, there's no easy match. Everyone's playing great, and, everyone's just doing a lot better.
You touched on the prior 3 opportunities, I guess, that you've had to tie Court's record. And you mentioned lack of prep time in one. I'm just curious, in your mind, is this the best place that you're in, both physically, mentally, what have you, of those opportunities right now?
Honestly, I don't remember the third. I remember Halep.
Last year here.
Oh, it's Osaka and Kerber? Wimbledon. Oh. That doesn't count. Yeah. God, I had an 8-month-old. That's amazing. Yeah, I think it's great. I think any way to be this far in my career and to be playing at this level with these amazing new players is cool. Is this the best opportunity? I don't know. I literally haven't thought about this tournament. I've been way more chill.
Is it, for you, better, more important to think about the final here last year and use that as motivation, or something you can learn from, or not have it in your mind at all and pretend it didn't happen?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't really crossed my mind.
All the way in the back, far right.
Serena, congrats on the recent finals. You've made a handful of finals, of course, since your childbirth, and I know you mentioned there was some uncertainty of you on what level you'd be able to reach. Now that you're in another final, have you allowed yourself to just enjoy the moment and be present, knowing that you just had a birth, which was too long ago, and that's still there in your mind with your daughter?
Yeah, I think it's cool that I've been in more finals than I think anyone on tour after being pregnant. I think that's kind of awesome. That's currently on tour. So I kind of look at it that way because it's not easy to go through what I did and come back and so fast. And to keep playing and to also not be 20 years old. So, yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself.
Serena, you won here when you were 17 years old back in 1997. If somebody had grabbed you on your way out and said, by the way, you'll still be in here in 20 years' time, playing in your 10th final here, what do you think you would have said?
I would definitely have not believed him because at 17, I thought for sure I'd be retired at like 28, 29, living my life. So yeah, I would have thought it was a sick joke.
Is it possible for you to remember how you used to think about players like Court, Goolagong, Kleisters, who have won slams as mothers, and then maybe what you think about that particular accomplishment now that you know what it's like?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, to come back with a baby and win, because it's hard. Like, my day off isn't a day off. Like, I'm literally hanging out with baby, I'm doing activities with her, and I don't want her to forget me. So I try to spend as much time with her, and I'm a full-time mom first, foremost, and that means the most to me. So, yeah, I train, and then I rush home to do. The other day I found like a trampoline park that I wanted to take her to, and because at the end of the day, that's what matters to me, is just being there for my daughter. And being in a Grand Slam is difficult because it takes away a lot of time that we normally have together, and just at her age, she's starting to really learn things, and her brain is processing things more, and I want to be a part of that, and I don't want anything else to take that away. So for me, that's what definitely matters most.
Far right.
Patrick was in here a couple of days ago and was asked about last year's final, and he said that he would coach again from the stands if he thought that you needed it. Obviously, you did not seem like you wanted to get coached in last year's final. Curious if you have talked to Patrick about that.
Yeah, no, he knows better than to say that to me. I think he was just playing with you guys. So that's like not an option for me.
Far left.
Serena, it's been a long time since you've seen a meteoric rise, quite like Bianca's done this year from a teenager. Are you able to just expand a little bit on her special talents and her amazing season?
Yeah, like I said, she's a great player. She mixes things up. You never know what's going to come from her. She does everything well. She serves well. She moves well. She has a ton of power. And she's very, very exciting to watch. And it's good. I think it's great for women's tennis.
Last question.
You said you really want to try to stay relaxed on Saturday. I'm curious, have you done anything different this tournament to try to stay relaxed, to try to keep that chill mindset? Yeah,
I think being on the court is almost a little bit more relaxing than hanging out with a 2-year-old. That's dragging you everywhere. So I think that's kind of been a little helpful.